mes amis, day 3 at Cannes. It's still gorgeous, and at my hotel the watchword still is "This is not possible, madame." But it's very interesting. It's very gorgeous here. All of the cultures mixing are interesting. Last night was pretty excessive in that like 10,000 winners were named, but I will just talk about the media winner of the year, which again was from Australia. Australia and New Zealand really happen in places for advertising now. It was from Sydney, Leo Burnett Sydney, and it's for EOS, for Canon films, Canon cameras. You basically start a picture string. Someone takes a picture, say with a kid with an orange in his mouth. The next person picks up on the orange detail. He takes an orange picture, say against the sky. The next person picks up on the sky and makes a blue picture, and on, like a game of telephone. It's a wonderful idea that's all about, at the root, humanity and interactivity, which is everything going on here. I found that so many campaigns here are all about changing the story, taking a basic story and either changing the ending or seeing it from 4 different viewpoints, the way the HBO thing does, or adding your own personal touch to it. And that's what the internet is all about. Certainly Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook was here today, and he kept repeating the same 3 words of interactivity and connecting, and you cannot get the guy off point. He is like a robot when talking about his company. And that was very different from the humanity expressed by Ben Stiller yesterday, who was in a panel with Jeff Goodby from Yahoo, and Spike Jonze, who spoke to Gordon Bowen today. Ben Stiller just came off as a really nice guy. He says he doesn't know that much about, tweeting or the internet or any of that, but he's starting to do animated stuff with Paramount Digital. And the connection to Yahoo is that his parents, Stiller and Mira, who are a great comic group in the 60s and the 70s, and you might know his father as Frank Costanza, like the funniest guy ever from Seinfeld. They're going to do a sort of View-like show where they just riff on current events. And I would tune in for that. I mean, people of all ages will tune in for that. It'll introduce older people to the internet, and it'll introduce them to older people, and I think it sounds great. He and Spike basically said the same thing, though, that it's all about the story. In the end, people want to be entertained. And what Spike said that was so interesting is that he understands the problems with advertising because so many committees are involved that by the time the project gets finished, it's sort of misshapen, and it's like a freakish thing because so many committees added little tiny things, millimeter by millimeter, and you've lost the essence of the humanity of it. He said the biggest problem is fear. The fear that the agency has toward the client, the fear that the client has toward their bosses. And that really immobilizes people and changes things. He said he would do any project as long as he really feels it. He doesn't think about a target audience when he works. He just thinks about what he would like. And he said the only mistakes he's made are when he's taken things that would pay for other things. Because in the end, it's not a project he wants to work on for whatever reason. It doesn't work out. And it's better to spend your time on something that does work out, whatever you're doing. I think that's applicable. He gave a very poignant example, actually. The first movie he ever made was Harold and the Purple Crayon, which is a wonderful book that I loved. And he wanted to make it this very personal, musing thing where the animated part was really silent. And as he worked on it over the years, the studio kept changing it. Toy Story came out, so they said, oh, let's make it funny and loud like Toy Story. And they would go, whatever trend was happening, they'd want him to change it. In the end, they canceled it because it was going over budget and they were too afraid. And so he and Ben really said the same thing, that you have to start with what you believe and you have to stick with what you believe no matter how hard, because in the end the project shows it. So with that, having no fear, at bottom what it showed me here, that despite all the talk of like technical genius and everything we're going to get into with mobile and everything else, at heart what we want to see is that we're all humans. And seeing these 2 celebrities who were totally worshipped here, Ben got all the love. He got 2,000 people pouring into the Palais, and Mark Zuckerberg got 3,000, and Spike got somewhere in between there, and people were just clamoring for him, and everybody here, like all of the tourists, just pose on the red carpet because they want to be close to celebrity, like those people. it really does come down to humanity and remembering that and fighting for your ideas. As Spike said, you have to fight for your own creative ideas. No one else is going to, and that's really all that you have in life. So tomorrow, I'll let you know what's going on with more exciting winners and showcases and parties. À demain!